I'm awake. You have 1 minute, darling.
Okay. Oh, it's on. This is on. Hello?
Yep.
Counting down.
10, 9,
9,
8, 7, 6,
5,
5,
4, 3, 2.
2, 1.
Good morning. My name is Darlene McCormick, and on behalf of the pastors and our Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Bob Trushell will light 3 lights symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Bob. Please rise for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. I had one picked out, but I want to do a different one, so I'm just going to find it and do that one. Mother, Father, God, thank you for all who are gathered here today in the light and the love and the joy that you bring to us and through us. Stay with us and stand with us throughout our day. Amen.
Amen.
Our first hymn will be led by our vocalist, Jamie Osman, and it will be page 16. Oh, Spirit, let me walk with thee.
This is a new one. Well, to some of us. To me.
Spirit. So over.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay. Located on the handout and in the front cover of the hymnal are our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. We will now recite the healing prayer, which is located in the back of your hymnal. It is the prayer for spiritualist healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Now, for those of you who would like to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall on either side and go to the next available healer. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. At this time, please settle into a comfortable position with your hands in your lap, palms up or down as you would like, feet resting flat on the floor. Gently close your eyes and breathe in deeply. Pause and breathe out. We are going to go inside to the still and the quiet. Inside where all the answers lie. Inside where your soul resides. Breathe in, pause, and breathe out. Going deeper, releasing all tension in your face, neck, and shoulders. And as you again breathe in and breathe out, a relaxed warmth moves ever downward through your throat, heart, stomach, and thighs, flowing naturally like water, relaxing your legs and feet. And you join with that flow, and your mind releases all thought, allowing you access to your inner self, so you may see all the wonder that is you. Going deeper and deeper again. Your thoughts take on a red sheen and a beauty that is the color of ruby. Flowing with your thoughts, going inward to your safe place. You are safe. All your needs are being met. I am here in my body and all is well. For I am open to new ideas and ways of thinking. I let go of repetitive thoughts to take care of my emotional needs. And drifting on those thoughts, you are finally firmly settled in your safe place, be it mountains, be it the ocean, be it the prairie, be it a meadow. Your safe place. And you breathe in orange and all your thoughts that are orange. And here again, my feelings are the language of my soul, and I express them in a healthy way. I use my creativity for higher purpose. I let go of negativity. Connect now with your core, with your soul, your true self. And breathe in again and breathing out yellow, bright, sunny yellow, warming the soul with the power that is you. And know, just by being me, I am valuable. I am open to spirit, for I am connected to greater life. I choose. Hear that again. I choose love, light, and healing. I am open to the playfulness of my soul, for I have the courage to be me. Breathe in again and breathe out healing green light, emerald green, that grows and surrounds and creates a cocoon of love. Float in that love and hear again. My true inner thoughts. I listen to my true inner thoughts. Peace is a way of my life. I love myself and all others. And I embrace the love of the universe. For I forgive myself and others in a grateful, caring manner. Breathe in and breathe out blue. Drift up into the blueness. Floating on an ocean of inner thoughts. Now hear those thoughts. I speak my truth lovingly. I open myself to spirit with great clarity. And I welcome the wisdom that is spirit. I listen with the ear of my heart, and my intuition serves me well. I am peaceful, tranquil, and serene, going deeper and deeper into your safe place within your core. Let your thoughts turn to deep blue indigo and float through them with grace, and you open and listen and hear again. I see the deeper truth. I dwell in the state of presence, being presence, present and present in this moment. For I am a timeless, eternal being. My soul is one with the universe, and my challenges are spiritual lessons. I open my eye to the light that is infinite, breathing and drifting through the rainbow of color, ever upward to purple. Beautiful purple that shines with the white that is spirit. That is you. And here yet again, I am grace, and I am one with the divine. I understand the deeper truth of suffering. I experience peace, love, and joy. For I am. I simply am, as is my God. And relax in your safe place. Empty your thoughts and look around as you see a dear loved one. You can connect with that loved one, and so you shall in your safe place, and your souls meet and touch. Be silent and quiet, drifting, and allow those things that you need to know right now and today. For when we rejoin on this plane, you can take those with you. Allow yourself to completely fill with the love. And here again, no one in this universe has my fingerprints. I am a unique soul engaged in the human experience. My true self rises to aid me, and I will allow that to unfold and hold it in my heart. Hold that love and learn to love yourself so you may help others to love joyously. Breathe in and breathe out that love. And feel the joyful soul of your spirit rising to join with the loved one that you have connected with in your safe place, in your stillness. Completely filled with that love and light. Let your soul grow ever larger. Embrace your loved one. Embrace yourself. Know the value of this human experience. Know that all decisions you make are based on information you had at that time. Be present in this moment. Let this moment swell and grow within you. Release your loved one and know that you can visit your safe place anytime that you have that need. Pick up the love and light that is around you and start to move and stir and stretch. You're bringing that love and light with you back here to Colby Memorial Temple. And when you are ready, open your eyes and look to the left and the right of you. And know that love is all around your unique, valuable self. Ta-da. Okay. Now, if you have received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card that should be in your hymnal. And if it's not, it will be in the back so that you can fill that out. Our healers today, from left, my left, to right, are Jackie Arnold, Deborah Jordan, Daryl Demerit, Coquette Cruz, and Lori Carter. After you have filled out the card, you can hand it to someone in the back of the temple, or and Sheldon, oh, so sorry. Sheldon Ganberg, he's one of our co-pastors. Don't fire me. You can also mail this in, but feel free to hand it to one of us and we will be happy to turn it in for you. Those cards are valuable to us. It allows us to gauge how we are doing, what we may need to improve on, and it's just helpful. And we thank our healers for sharing their gifts. Please stand for the next hymn. Number 159, Open My Eyes.
I see it's a dream. I see my head. To see all things. Voices. So here.
Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, next we have a special treat. We will welcome our President of the Board of Trustees, Reverend Jerry Moore, to introduce our co-pastors. Please give a warm welcome.
Good morning. I have a very great pleasure to introduce a very special group of people to you. Today is the very first Sunday service that our three newly appointed co-pastors are in service. So I'd like Reverend Judy Cooper, Reverend Sheldon Ganberg, and Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg to join me. Would you like to stand in here? This time of year is full of new beginnings and new growth. The season of spring has officially begun less than 2 weeks ago with all of the wonderful pollen, as well as the flowers that we all enjoy. In addition to that, this past Friday was March 31st, which marks the 175th anniversary of the wrappings of the Fox sisters and was the beginning of modern spiritualism. So this is a very appropriate time for us to initiate a new beginning right here in Colby Memorial Temple. Each of these ministers brings to us a wealth of experience and knowledge. We are so fortunate that they have joined together and have pledged themselves to service to Colby Memorial Temple and to Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. We thank our outgoing pastor, Suzanne DeWeese, for her hard work over the past 6 months. And now, over the coming weeks and months, we look forward to see how these very qualified pastors build on the work that's been started with their own unique ideas and energy. At this time, let us join together in prayer. Infinite intelligence, we are thankful for the gift of devotion and allegiance that these co-pastors have already expressed in serving Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. We ask that they continue to have all of the energy and support they need to fulfill their mission of providing hope and inspiration to all who visit Colby Memorial Temple and the camp. We ask that they have the strength and persistence to help those in spiritual need to find their path. And we ask that each of us here do our part to help these new pastors complete their duties to make Cassadaga an even more welcoming and inspiring place to visit, to live, and to learn. These things we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please welcome our new pastors. Thank you.
I want to take a moment just to thank the Board of Trustees for allowing us to have this unit to serve. And I want to make a statement that I want to remind all of you that this is your family. This is your temple. So feel comfortable and feel free to come to any one of us if there's any opinions, questions, or anything, because we are totally open because we serve you.
I'll bet everybody has a suggestion. Well done, Reverend Jerry Moore. Thank you so much. Okay. And now what we've all been waiting for. Our lecturer today will be the Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg, just introduced as one of our co-pastors. Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg. You know, that is a mouthful. It just is. One more time. Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg is an ordained spiritualist minister and certified spiritual healer here in Cassadaga. She is also a licensed clinical social worker and counselor in the state of Florida and has been counseling in this field for over 30 years. In the past, Reverend Debra worked in several alcohol and drug treatment centers for women, as well as in private practice, specializing in transpersonal soul work, helping clients discover, explore, and heal the sources of their challenges in this lifetime. Reverend Debra's passions now lie in continuing to assist others in their healing and spiritual growth. She also enjoys inspirational guest speaking. That's fortunate for us, focused on spiritualism and inner healing, as well as teaching classes and workshops. Please give Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. My topic this morning is I'm going to talk about on being human, which we all are. There's a well-known saying that probably most of you have heard before. It goes like this: to err is human, to forgive is divine. Many people believe that this saying comes from the Bible, but it doesn't. It is actually from the writings of Alexander Pope, an 18th century English poet. Most of us have heard this saying many times and know what is meant by it. Basically, it means it is natural for us as human beings to make mistakes, to not always act from our higher selves, to not always follow our moral compasses. However, if we are willing to forgive ourselves and others for these errors in judgment, we are then coming from a place of divinity or a godlike place. To err is human, to forgive is divine. We are all spiritual beings having a very human experience here on earth. We all mess up sometimes. We all act in ways that we regret sometimes. We all hurt other people sometimes. And we all feel some shame about things that we have done or said at one point or another. So why do we do these things? Why don't we always act from our higher selves? Do we deliberately set out to hurt other people? No, I don't believe so. We all have our histories. We have all been shaped by our life experiences. What I do believe is that we are all at different stages of our soul development, depending on many factors: our age, our life experience in this lifetime and in other lifetimes, and how much time we've been willing to invest in looking at our past mistakes, taking the time to own them, to learn from them, and then move forward from a place of higher consciousness. We all know that that's not an easy task, to look at our shortcomings and our behaviors that bring about negative consequences. It's not easy. It takes a lot of courage and humility and integrity. But what we all eventually realize is that until we are willing to look honestly at ourselves and our behaviors and how they impact our lives and our relationships, nothing will change. And so if we are not up to the task of self-reflection, we remain in denial to make the same mistakes all over again. As our 7th principle of spiritualism says, we affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that we make our own happiness and unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. And I want to make it clear from my end, there's no judgment in this from my end. I'm on this path too, and I've been making my own mistakes for a long time. But I believe we are on our own unique spiritual journeys in our own timing, and it's all okay. We do things when we're ready to do them. Usually what happens is once we begin to experience enough physical or emotional pain as a result of ignoring nature's physical and spiritual laws, it is then we become willing to take responsibility for our actions and our words, to take the necessary steps to change. Pain is a big motivating factor. Whether it's emotional or physical or spiritual pain, I know it has been for me. I remember a time in my life when most of my relationships were not working very well at all. Basically, the first 28 years of my life. Because I had grown up with parents who were alcoholics and very wounded emotionally, I was attracting partners into my life and friends with the same exact issues that my parents had. They may have been packaged a little differently, but all the same issues were there. It all seemed normal to me. That's what I was familiar with. So as the song says, I kept looking for love in all the wrong places. And honestly, I truly had a lot of pain inside. I continued to try and fill that pain and emptiness with people and things outside of myself. But it wasn't until that emptiness inside grew extremely painful, and I kept repeating things over and over again that were not in my highest good, that I was willing to hold up the white flag and finally say, I surrender. This isn't working. And take that next step to begin the process of honestly looking within at my own woundedness that was at the core of my emptiness, at the core of that very human, vulnerable part of me. And so during my healing process, I began to explore and change the sabotaging patterns I kept repeating in my life and grieve that pain that it had caused me. And one of the hardest things of all was recognizing the ways in which I had become just like my parents. And this isn't to blame them. A lot of patterns get passed down through generations until someone makes a difference and change them. I swore I would never pick up their negative traits. Looking at that was really, really tough. But it was so necessary to own those shadow parts of myself if I was going to transform my own life and not pass those shadow parts down to my son. But going through that process totally changed my life, especially the quality of my relationships. And most importantly, the quality of my relationship with me, with myself. Because that's where it all begins, doesn't it? As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So when we all signed up to be human in this lifetime, and I believe we did, that took a lot of courage to be here on earth at this time. I believe the contract included making mistakes in this classroom of life, repeating sabotaging or hurtful behaviors, either learned in this lifetime or previous lifetimes, and cleaning up some karma. This is how we grow as human beings. To err is human. It is part of the human condition. And I believe it's an important part of our spiritual journey. And at some point on our spiritual path, either in this dimension or another, I believe we become ready and willing to be accountable for how we express ourselves as souls in order to grow closer to God or Spirit. And this is where I believe the divinity piece comes in. Having the ability to forgive others and ourselves is so divine. And I believe that ability to forgive others is born out of the willingness to acknowledge our own errors and misguided behaviors, and to learn to love ourselves in spite of our mistakes. Because how can we let go of judgments of others and have compassion for them as fellow human beings if we can't even forgive ourselves for our own shortcomings? They go hand in hand. It's like a mathematical equation. The extent that we judge ourselves is the extent that we judge others. So how long is enough to punish ourselves and beat ourselves up inside for past mistakes? How long is enough to carry shame and anger and resentments and regrets about the past? When do we finally let ourselves and others off the hook? Ultimately, forgiveness is something you do for yourself. It is a gift you give yourself, not someone else. Forgiving yourself and others finally brings you a sense of peace. It frees you from the painful burden of destructive resentment and anger and guilt. It just eats away inside of you. In some situations, we may not be able to forgive the act or the behavior, but we are able to eventually forgive the person. It doesn't always mean that what happened was okay, and it may not mean the other person should necessarily still be welcomed back into your life. It just means that you have made peace with the pain and are ready to let go. That's what forgiveness means. I think we all might agree that forgiveness isn't always easy. I know for me, it's one of the hardest things. Some things are a lot harder to forgive and take a lot longer to forgive than others. It is definitely a process of feeling the feelings around the hurt to get to that forgiving place. Some of us may try to sidestep this part because we're not comfortable feeling our feelings of hurt and sadness and anger. It's not exactly the most pleasant thing when you really think about it. Maybe we grew up in a family where we got the message that it wasn't okay to express our feelings. But these repressed feelings continue to be held in our body. They get crystallized in our body. And unless we are willing to feel them and work through them and let go of them for real, those feelings continue to surface, sometimes in very sneaky ways, and sabotage all our relationships. And sometimes forgiving ourselves is the hardest forgiving of all. You know, very often in our lives, we were young or innocent of knowledge when we messed up. You can't know something until you know it. Or we may have continued familiar sabotaging patterns that we learned in our family of origins, like I did, or from other role models growing up. Or perhaps we were in a lot of emotional pain when we did something or said something that hurt another person or ourselves. We're not perfect. We all do the best we can with the inner tools and capacity that we have at the time. It's important to remember the 8th spiritualist principle that says, we affirm the doorway to reformation is never, never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. I'd like to share with you a powerful experience that I had quite a few years ago, about 25 years ago. In the early stages of my career as a social worker and a therapist, Sheldon and I signed up to do a 2-year regressive hypnotherapy internship with many other therapists and healthcare clinicians from around the country. A big part of the learning in this internship was for us therapists to do our own inner work using methods that we could then in turn use with our clients. Well, one of these exercises that our teachers gave us to do was quite something. It was a real doozy, and you'll see why. It was called a shame reduction exercise. What we did, we sat in a big semicircle, and there was about 30 of us. And we all took turns sitting in a chair at the head of the semicircle. The person whose turn it was to sit in the chair was to repeat this phrase over and over while completing it. And here was the phrase that we had to say. Something I would never want you to know about me is. And then we had to finish that sentence over and over until we couldn't think of anything else. So see what I mean? That was a very, very hard exercise. And I was really scared. Excuse me, I was really scared to get in that chair. It was really scary to be that vulnerable. I was trembling as I walked up to take my turn. And that's an understatement of the year. But I did trust my teachers and myself, and I also trusted that there would be some kind of an important learning from this exercise, as there had been with all the others that they had given us. So at least I had trust in myself and them. But that's being said, I sure didn't want to go first, and I didn't. Well, I interned with the other clinicians through many tears and Kleenex and trembling, shared with the group many of my fears and shortcomings and judgments that I hadn't forgiven myself for yet, or was still feeling some shame about, sometimes a lot of shame. I was so emotionally exhausted afterwards. But wow, what gifts came to me from that simple but terrifying experience. I will never forget how I felt after it. It was like a 50-pound weight just came right off of me. Things that I had been carrying around for my whole life at that point. And you know what? When it was all done, this was the very first thought that came to me. We human beings are all in the same boat. Most of what everyone said they had shame about was very similar in nature to everyone else. Word for word, some of them. And here we all were as human beings, beating ourselves up inside, thinking we were so different from the person sitting next to us, and feeling alone in the experience of it all. How crazy is that? If only we could share those things with each other more of the time. What an awakening we all had that day. And in that moment, I felt such a greater degree of oneness with the whole human race than I ever had before, and a greater sense of compassion and grace for myself and others. To err is human, to forgive is divine. And I'd like to close by reading a poem by Mother Teresa called Do It Anyway. Has anyone ever heard this poem, Do It Anyway by Mother Teresa? No? People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people might cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend your years building, somebody could destroy overnight. Build anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. But give the world the best you've got anyway. Because you see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God, between you and Spirit. It was never between you and them anyway. Namaste.
Well done. Thank you so much, Reverend Debra Gretan-Ganberg. I read somewhere once, if you say things 3 times, you'll never forget it again. We'll see. All right. Now we will have our musical interlude. And during that interlude, we will be passing the basket, and we thank you in advance for your generosity. And this musical interlude will be presented by our very own Jamie. So welcome her, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for that lecture. That was very, very nice. Boy, I would hate to have that exercise. But it's good to know that in the end, we are all kind of in the same boat with it. So isn't it great to know that, you know, we will eventually not have to deal with these things, not have to deal with the trials and the troubles, because we're going to live with Spirit. When it's over, it won't matter where I come from. Yeah, when it's over, it won't matter where I came from. Yeah, when it's over, all that matters is what I gave. Did I give love to my brothers? Did I give love to my sisters? Did I give love to my enemy? Did I give love, love, love? All that matters is love, love, love. When it's over, it won't matter where I came from. Yeah, when it's over, it won't matter where I came from. Yeah, when it's over, all that matters is what I gave. Did I give a piece to my brothers? Did I give a piece to my sisters? And did I give peace to my enemy? Did I give a peace, peace, peace? All that matters is a peace, peace, peace. I've seen a lot of trouble at my door. I've never known a day when I ain't been poor, but I'm gonna live with Spirit in the air. Hard times is all I've seen. I've lost loved ones that were dear to me, but I'm gonna live with Spirit in the air. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live with Spirit in the air. When these poor bones are tired and old, I'll meet my Father, release my soul, 'cause I'm gonna live with spirit. I'm gonna live with spirit. I'm gonna live with spirit in the air. Mm. Mm. Thank you.
You go, Jamie Osmond, you go. Well done. Please assume an attitude of prayer as we give thanks for these gifts today. Mother, Father, God, thank you for these gifts from those gathered here today. Allow us the wisdom to use them for our highest and best. And in this we say, Amen. And it's announcement time. Next Wednesday, April 5th, our message bearer will be Lori Carter. She was one of our healers today. And next Sunday, which is April 9th, Easter Sunday, our guest speaker at the 10:30 service is our very own Reverend Diane Davis. Now, our Easter sunrise service is from 7:30 to 8 a.m. Our speaker is Reverend Dr. Sheldon Ganberg. Please join us for that. It is a lovely service. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15 in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. And next Sunday, there is no Lyceum due to the Easter sunrise service. Also, next Sunday, we will not be having the Grove service. We have some upcoming workshops and events. On Saturday, April 8th, Reverend Philip DeLong will be conducting a workshop from 11 to 1 p.m. Who are your spiritual teachers and guides? On Saturday, April 8th, we will have our two views where Sydney and Lori Carter will do messages from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Andrew Jackson Davis Mother and Daughter Spiritualist Mediums, who work in tandem to bring loved ones through. It's also very special. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name and first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or pet in our healing book at this corner of Colby Temple. Flyers for camp events are at the back of the temple. We have an activities calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnal. They look like this for this month, pink and yellow, Easter colors. They will be in your hymnal. There's extras in the back. Please feel free to take them home. And if you would like, bring extras that you can give to a friend. Also, always refer to our website, casadega.org. It has the monthly information as well as upcoming events, and you will find your most current information at that location. Please stand for our next hymn, page 44, Higher Ground.
Excuse me.
I'm pressing on the upward way. I see every day. Pray. Lord, let my feet on higher ground. Let me step my faith on earth. feet on higher. Oh, something I think I want to be. On this, I think I want to stay. On to higher. On the feet. That is I think I get.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. Y'all did a really good job on that last hymn. All right. So next, we will have the message portion of our service, and those will be delivered by me, Darlene McCormick. All right. May I come to you? Yes, dark hair. I love that hair. Stepping up and into your vibration, there's a gentleman that steps forward. He's presenting himself as being younger when he passed. He says, I was just a good looking guy. And it always just comes through for me. He had his hair, if that is helpful. Comes through with such love and such pride for you. I feel like the relationship was a paternal type relationship. And he just wants you to know that you are never alone. And as he comes through with such a bright light, he would like to just say, I hope you feel me around you, honey girl, because I am. I am. When you need me, I am. And always know who you are. What is your first name? Natalie. He says, you are one heck of a woman, and you have grown into a beautiful, caring person. And it doesn't hurt you to reach out for help sometimes, Miss Natalie. That is your hardest thing. People will extend that help. Sometimes you feel like, you're tough and you're just going to tough it out and you're going to tough it out. There's been an awful lot of events in these last couple of years that have required that strength. It is okay to reach out and ask for help. And he would like for you to do that. Some of the people around you over this last year, you had a major massive sorting experience, what's working and what's not working. Some things got kicked to the curb, and sometimes you second guess yourself. Remember that any decisions that you made were based on the information that you had at the time. And he just wants you to know you're doing a heck of a job. And I will just leave that with light and love. I hope that was helpful. All right. May I come to the gentleman in the back pew sitting on the far end? Hi. There's a woman that steps forward. There's some, she was not very tall. She was a medium-sized woman, not a little bit on the fluffy side, but and had one heck of a personality.
just very, if it came in her mind, it was coming right out, and there was no braking system there at all. She just comes through again. They're coming through with love and light. And she's amazed at how good you turned out. There were times she thought that could have gone either way. And you rose above it, and you're on a path that you're actually enjoying. And the universe had slapped you around plenty during your run amok years. She said you always made her laugh. Sometimes you would butt heads, sometimes you would not feel so. You might not feel like there was that kind of love coming from your family, certain members of your family. Sometimes it's hard for a individual in the human experience to express those things, and they find when they pass and they're on the other side, they have that holy heck, what happened moment. I should have said, I would have said, and then God kicks in and they quit kicking themselves around. Remember the lecture, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others, and loving yourself. You were on the right path. And she would like you to be more social, but you're here today. That's very social. And I hope that was helpful, and I'll leave that with love and light. Thank you. What is your first name? Drew? Okay. Thank you, Drew. All right. May I come to more love? Did you read your shirt this morning? Yes, that would be you, darling. I like that shirt and the sentiment that it is expressing. Stepping up and into your vibration, there's a gentleman, older fellow that's coming through, father, grandfather, definitely paternal energy. I feel like he connects with some in your group. He got a kick out of the holidays. He got a kick out of watching you open presents. He got a kick around, and you could scurry because you were a high energy child, and could laugh at a heartbeat and turn around and say something awful in the next if someone was trying to play with your stuff. And he just found that just endearing. And he says, you've outgrown that some. You will still speak your mind. He's coming through just saying that you've been kind of holding back a little bit lately. And some things he says just have to be said. If it's true, if it is helpful, if it is needed, sometimes it just does. And he's getting a kick out of watching you try to hold back. Let it rip, but let it rip with kindness and with the intent. It's all about intentions. The intent to help, push forward, and relieve some of that pressure before you blow. Because if you hold on to it for too long, you're just going to blow. What was your first name? Iris? Yeah, you know that temper you have. Say it now before it comes out as temper, is what he would like to say. And I'll leave that with light and love. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. All righty. We're winding down, but this was so much fun. I kind of hate that. We would like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service from 12 to 12:30 right here in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many individuals as we can reach. Everyone is welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open 11:30 to 5 p.m. today, and open Monday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please rise for our closing hymn. It's 208, isn't it? Page 203. And remain standing for the closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth. In me. In me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With all our Creator. All of you. Us with each other. In perfect harmony. Let peace. Speak. And Song to take the kids.
Oh. Until we meet again, may the kindness of spirit precede you. May the wisdom of spirit be with you. And may the light of God follow you throughout this week. Thank you so much, everyone. Safe travel.
You done did it? I did it.
Light there be
With me,